Hey friends, it's Liz, your official craft nerd, and today I've got some ShabChic fall pumpkin decor ideas for you. So first I'm going to make this adorable little wooden pumpkin sign. So I'm taking some of these wood slices that I got off Amazon, and they are linked in my Amazon store, which is linked in my description box below. And I wanted to make some very ShabChic friendly pumpkin decor for my home. And what I decided to do was very light colors instead of the very obvious, darker tones for fall. So I did some of that ballet slipper by Waverly, and then I'm using some of this celery, I believe is what that green is, by Waverly. And then of course, just my good old fashioned plaster that I love to use. And I gave all my pumpkins a good coat. Now I did go over back and front because at first I really wasn't sure how I was going to put these pumpkins together. So just to be on the safe side, I did go and paint all the way around on these slices. Now I'm taking some antique wax and just a little tiny thin brush, and I'm kind of just making some lines to create the impression of some grooves for the pumpkin on each of these wood pieces. Once that was all done, I'm taking some of this, it's like, I believe it's just like old shipwood or something like that. I ordered it off Target from their craft section not too long ago. I think it's like driftwood pieces or something like that, and it's just a bunch of random little pieces of wood just like you see here. I did stain it with the antique wax first just to darken it up, and I'm using these little pieces for my stems. So I'm just going to place them right in the top middle of each of my pumpkins. And actually the little tiny pumpkin is not one of those pieces of driftwood. It's from the outer edge, like the bark of the wood slices that just kind of fell off another piece, and it actually was just the perfect size, so I made it work. Now I'm just taking some twine and I'm going to make just a little kind of like a finger bow. You guys have seen me make these in the past, and if you're new here, welcome. You may not know, I do kind of, my bow's a little bit different. I am not a bow maker by no means, and I'm no expert. I tried to do the little finger bows and they don't necessarily work out for me for some reason, so I just wrap twine around my fingers and then I hold it down in the middle and then place another piece of twine and tie it around the center, and that just seems to work perfect for me. So that's what I do. You guys, if you have better ways to make your bows, by all means do you, and however you like. I did take some pieces of ribbon as well, and did just a regular like fold over like I was doing a finger bow and tied it in the middle too. So that's why it looks a little bit different than my normal finger bows. But anyway, enough about the bows. I'm taking one of these wooden slate, slat, whatever you want to call them, fence plaque things, I don't know. You guys know me well enough by now that I forget what things are called. So anyway, one of these little wooden signs from Dollar Tree. Now they're not the tiny ones, these are actually pretty good sized ones, and I haven't seen any since I've picked some of these up, so I've been using them sparingly. But I decided to take this and just give it a good stain, and of course antique wax, I leave it on there for a few seconds and then I wipe it down, and it just leaves the wood with a very nice, beautiful color. This is as simple as it can get, guys. All I'm doing is taking these wood slices now and I'm just going to glue them down to my wood sign. And I just think that these colors and the way that this all comes together is just absolutely adorable. Now, what you don't see is I actually made just a quick straight back on there so I can stand it up instead of hang it. But this is what it looks like. Y'all have to tell me what you guys think about that one down below. So for this next one, I wanted it to be a really easy, simple project, and you guys are going to see tons and tons of pumpkin decor ideas out there right now. because fall is almost here, and what makes you think more about fall than pumpkins? So I really wanted to keep with my aesthetic and really wanting to have that shabby chic look as well as like a vintagey look to what I'm putting out there. So I'm keeping the same colors as my previous project. So I'm using that ballet slipper again and the celery. Now this time I am going to use some pumpkin by Waverly, but I'm toning it down, as you can see here, with just some plaster. And it just gives it that lighter color so it goes better with that pink and that green. These are just some of those wood branch cutoffs that you can find in bundle packs at Dollar Tree. Typically you start seeing them around this time of year. I have not seen them yet, but whenever I do, I usually snatch a few bundles up because they make perfect stems for things, as well as they're just very useful for a lot of other projects, and I just love them. So luckily I still had some left over from last year, and like I said, these made perfect stems for my little tiny square pumpkins. Now I'm just adding a little bit of twine around the base of this, and then I'm going to create a finger bow to add to this as well. Now you guys, I love pumpkin decor, but I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm not like a pumpkin spice type of girl. I really don't care for pumpkin spice lattes or any of that stuff. So, but I'm interested to see what you guys, I mean, are you guys a pumpkin spice latte person, or do you just like pumpkin pie? Now I'll say that I like pumpkin pie, love some pumpkin pie, y'all, but the other stuff, I don't need my house smelling like pumpkin or anything like that, but I really do like the decor pieces. But tell me down in the comments below, are you a pumpkin spice person or no? And how soon do you have to get your pumpkin spice in to make it feel like it's fall for you? I'm interested. But what I'm doing here, as you can just see, is I made a finger bow, and again, simple as just wrapping the loops of twine around and then tying it in the middle with another piece of twine. That's all I do. For the actual pumpkin part, I wanted to add a little bit more detail. Now I didn't want it to be super drastic. Now you can definitely use paint and stencils for this. I just decided to whip out my Tim Holtz stamps and my distress ink. Now tea dye is probably one of my favorite distress ink colors, and it's very, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's tea dye. It's a very fainted, brownish color, and it's a beautiful color. And as you can see here, I'm just putting some of that ink on my stamp and literally just stamping around my pumpkin. So I use a few different stamps here. I will have to check and see if I can find these and put them in my Amazon store as well. I haven't really flooded it yet with my Tim Holtz stuff because I'm still getting that store up and running as far as all the products that I absolutely am obsessed with. But Tim Holtz is definitely one of those categories. But these stamps are just amazing and very vintage and everything that I am about. So I really liked how these turned out. Very simple, very subtle, but just very me. So what do you guys think about this one? Let me know. So this one is going to be, in my opinion, it's very easy. It almost didn't make the cut for this video. I will say that because I wasn't too sure about it. And y'all know by now, if you've been with me for a while, that I always seem to have at least one project that just makes me go, do I really want to add this in here? But you know what? I'm so open with you guys. I'm going to show you my successes and my failures and my so-sos and whatever. I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed. So what I'm doing here is basically making some coasters. Okay. And these little squares that you see there, I found that packet that you see in the back at Goodwill for they gave it to me for 89 cents, and I found 2 packs of those. I thought they were very thin pieces of wood. However, upon opening it, I realized it's just very thick cardstock. So pretty much the same thing, but whatever. Anyway, I knew I would still be able to use them. I glued 2 pieces together to kind of give it a thicker, stability, because these are going to be my coasters. And what you saw me do previously was kind of outline on a sheet of cork sticker board that I got from Dollar Tree, and those I've been finding a lot, so you guys should be able to still find that, because I'm going to use the cork board for the bottom of my coaster. These beautiful napkins, I just found these at Dollar Tree. When I tell you guys I hardly ever have any luck finding cute napkins there, I was really excited when I found these. So what I'm doing is obviously just peeling out that second layer. So this particular napkin only had the 2 layers. Sometimes you have them where they have 3, but this only went down to 2. So I peel off that back layer because we are going to, you guessed it, decoupage these gorgeous pumpkins on top of my coasters. Now, as you can tell, I did use the pumpkin color as is. I think that's what kind of threw me off with doing this project, was everything else that I've done has been more of like a light color, almost pastel type color, and this was just very like boom in your face orange. So, however, I don't hate it because it's still picking up the colors from the pumpkin. So all I'm doing, of course, is throwing down a layer of Mod Podge here, and I had kind of fussy cut it around my pumpkin image that I wanted to add to my coaster. Now, it does have sunflowers in there. I, for the most part, cut those out. I know a lot of people love sunflowers. It's a big, big part of the season, I guess. To me, it makes me think more summer, because here in Texas, we get sunflowers throughout the summer. And I'm not like a huge fan of them for decor, but if you are, cool, you can use the whole napkin. I just really wanted the pumpkins on this, so I went ahead and laid these down. Now, before the Mod Podge, decoupage police comes after me. Now, you guys are great, and nobody ever really says anything to me about it, but I realize I'm not the best decoupager. I really don't care that I'm not the best decoupager. I know that my stuff gets bubbles and wrinkles and creases, and you guys, I think, know by now that I like that kind of stuff, y'all. I like it looking a little gritty, ripped up, old. You know what I mean? Like, what that looks like right now did not bother me in the least. Actually, I loved it for the fact that, pumpkins aren't always just smooth and, whatever. They're kind of wrinkly and bumpy too, so just like me. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so after they dried, I did of course put a layer on top, and once that has dried, I go ahead and shave down those sides with using a nail file. Nail file is a perfect little sanding tool to get those little edges and everything cleaned off smoothly whenever you're doing anything with decoupaging. And all I did to finish this up was place these cork boards on the bottom of both of my coasters, and then of course I just trimmed down any little excess that I might not have cutted the size correctly from. So that was really all there was to making these, you guys. You could do it however you like, but I just thought it would be fun to have these cute little pumpkin coasters in my collection. So lastly, you guys, I'm going to redo some of these little pumpkins. Now, I was showing you the little velvet pumpkins that are currently at the Dollar Tree right now, and these guys they're super adorable, and I've gotten probably all the colors out there. But I had a couple that were kind of, when I got them home, I realized like the stems was falling out and the fabric looked a little janky. So, you know what? That's no problem. They are simple to basically deconstruct, and it has this great little pumpkin form of foam underneath. So I did that to 2 of them, and I'm taking some of this gorgeous burnt orange colored ribbon, burlap ribbon actually, with wires that the Dollar Tree had. And I really, really like this color of orange, mainly because it's more of that older vintagey color, I guess. I don't know how else to say it, but it is definitely a color that I love. And I'm just cutting, well, I cut strips of this ribbon to kind of fit going around my pumpkin, and then kind of tucking it in the middle. This was definitely slightly a labor of love. I mean, it's not really easy to glue anything down to foam, obviously, as you guys know, because the hot glue will melt the foam. Now, I do also understand that if I had it on a low setting, it wouldn't have been so bad. It would have been okay, but this was not that type of glue gun this time around, so we were just going to make it work, y'all. I definitely was just getting the glue in there and kind of wedging it down using this old pen and just kind of stick it in there just to get it to stay. And it did, you know, after a while, but I was basically just trying to get the look of just kind of like multi-layers kind of wrapping around the pumpkin. And the great thing about this was that it had the wires in it, so it really kind of helped mold the form the way that I would wanted it to be. You definitely, of course, can do however you like with these. You can definitely paint the foam first if you wanted. I just figured this time around I didn't want to mess with all that. I really just wanted to add some of this ribbon over top of it. And I think there's just so many, you know, and here's the thing. If shabby chic and all that is not really your jam, which I'm assuming it is, because if you're here, that's what you like to see me do. But if you want to do more of like kitschy Halloween, you know, the more cartoon and fun and whatever, you know, Dollar Tree has like tons of different types of ribbon for the holiday, and you could do all kinds of pumpkins with that ribbon just the same way. So don't feel like you are blocked into only doing like a shabby chic type look or whatever. I really want you guys to know that my stuff can be interpreted in many different ways. So this right here, this is some fabric linen strips that I've had from burlapfabric.com, and I figured this would be really cute just to add a couple little stripes on this particular pumpkin. And basically I'm doing the same thing, just kind of gluing it down in there in the center and wrapping it around and placing it again down in the center there. And it's super, you know, like I said, it's pretty easy to do, but it was definitely a super labor of love. I didn't show you doing this second pumpkin because I think it kept coming apart, and the glue wasn't sticking, and oh my gosh, y'all, I was ready to throw it across the room, but we survived. So taking those same stems that came from these pumpkins originally, now they were kind of like this gilded whatever, you know, stem, and I really didn't care for that, so I just painting it over with some plaster, and then we're going to go ahead and just glue these down into the middle of our pumpkin. So I generously squirted a bunch of glue down in that hole and stuck my stem in there. Okay, I'm not even going to say anything. This is definitely the look I was looking for. I wanted it to be very old school type colors and feel, and I just really like that orange, you guys. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm just like super obsessed with it. I think it's very like 70s, you know, like 60s, 70s type of color. Anyway, here I go again, being extra, adding some twine around the bottom of this. It's totally not necessary, but I just have this thing about things looking unfinished, and I just felt like it kind of did that way. So I just wrap around some of the bottom and then kind of wrap around the top of the stem. And then I'm taking this stuff. Now, you guys, if you have not found this yet, I highly recommend that you look for this. You guys know that tubing Dollar Tree always puts out for every holiday. It's like usually with like the wreath making stuff, they always have it in different colors. Well, around this time of year, they come out with the burlap one. When I tell you guys, this stuff is so easy to use, and it really just works like a burlap. Like I can't explain it other than I just love this stuff. Like I stocked up, I'm not even gonna lie, I bought like 8 packs of it or whatever, because I used it a lot last year and I used it up and then I couldn't find it again. So it literally goes away the entire year until it's time for fall. So just word to the wise on there. But I used it on this one just to kind of make a bow, and you can see I was like holding it down and waiting for it to dry because, like I said, y'all, the hot glue in these pumpkins today was not, they were just not friends. They were not getting along. I made an extra finger bow, super simple, super quick, and I'm going to place that on this center of this burlap rope bow thing that I made as well, just to add just a little extra, because it wouldn't be something I made if it wasn't a little bit extra, but that's okay, guys. So kind of finishing it up, I knew that that other pumpkin that I just kind of wrapped that twine around is a little, you know, lame compared to the other. So I'm taking some more of that fabric strips, and I'm just going to make a real quick shabby bow. Just a couple different layers of that same ribbon or fabric strips, I guess, and took a piece of twine, wrapped it around the center nice and tight, and just kind of floofed it out. And that's all there is to a shabby bow like that. Like super, super easy. Now you could of course add any kind of different layers to it, different types of fabrics, ribbons, whatever. I just kept with that same one, and I just glued it right down on the base of this pumpkin. And I really felt like that just added something special to this. I absolutely love how these pumpkins turned out for the amount of work that they that they put me through. I think they're adorable. So you guys are definitely gonna have to tell me what you think about these. And that's it for this video, you guys. Here's everything just kind of set up for you, and I really do love these things. I love the pumpkin theme. So I'm definitely looking forward to hearing from you guys. If you are new, again, welcome. I hope you stick around and join my nerdy family. And for all of my friends who have been here along the way, thank you so much for stopping by again. Please, you guys, make sure to like this video. And if you're new, I hope you consider subscribing. So until next time, take care, you guys. Stay safe.